Incredible rescue, heartwarming journey of a Siamese cat discovered trapped in tar for 3 days. Emma looked up from her server's pad, barely disguising the exhaustion smudged across her face. The diner was a swirl of noise, with clinking dishes and lively chatter. Despite the chaos, everyone turned their heads, captivated by a sudden commotion outside. A local boy was shouting, "Jake! Lily! Come here!" Emma took a breath, inner strength clashing with fatigue. Something about this felt important. Jake, her 16-year-old, rushed in, eyes wide and heart racing. "Mom! We found a cat. It's stuck in tar." His voice held a panic and urgency that made Emma's heart clench. "It's stuck." Lily, her spirited 14-year-old, tugged at Jake's arm, eyes shining with a mix of worry and hope. Without hesitation, Emma dashed to the door, following her kids outside. The abandoned lot that bordered the diner was a stark contrast to their modest life full of weeds and memories of better times. But today, it was the location of a heroic quest. There, amidst the brown sludge, lay a Siamese cat, fur-matted, and eyes pleading for help. Emma's breath hitched, molten warmth filling her heart. The cat's striking blue eyes were vibrant even in despair. "Hold on, sweetie," Emma whispered, kneeling in the dirt. Her fingers trembled as she reached out for the feline. "We're gonna get you out." The sight stirred something powerful within her, reminding her of her own struggles, the long hours at the diner, the juggling of jobs, and the constant whisper of judgment from community members who felt they could cast stones for her financial struggle. But she pushed it back. Today was about compassion. News spread like wildfire, igniting the hearts of many townspeople. Strangers turned into allies as they arrived to help with mops, towels, and hugs. "We can save her," Emma thought, feeling hope bubbling up. Yet whispers slithered through the crowd. Why should they lead this rescue? They're not worthy. Emma felt it like a cold slap, the judgment laced in whispers that turned her stomach. With determination glimmering in her children's eyes, she shook off the negativity. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As they worked on freeing the cat, more townsfolk joined in, their dogs barking and children laughing. A community, united by a small creature's plight. Yet doubts loomed, disdain seeped into the atmosphere when a well-dressed couple arrived, demanding their pet back. "That's our cat," they declared, eyes narrowed. The energy shifted. Was this about the cat, or about status? Emma's heart sank. Tension surged through her. Did they have the right to fight for the cat, or was they just foolishly exposing themselves to ridicule? Neighborhoods and walls ran deep. Could a humble family like theirs ever measure up? With every voice in the crowd, every face turned towards her, Emma felt the weight of it all. Would they stand up and proclaim their place in this community or quietly back down, letting society mold their identity? Each step they took with the Siamese cat echoed their own struggles, their own dreams. As Jake and Lily's determination throbbed in the air, Emma knew a decision lay ahead, one that might just change everything for them all. Emma's heart raced as the couple's claim hung in the air like a dark cloud, threatening to rain on their hopeful parade. She glanced at the Siamese cat, still trembling and covered in tar, each desperate meow urging her to act. Jake and Lily stood by her side, their expressions fierce, unwilling to back down without a fight. "Can you prove it?" Emma shot back, her voice steady despite the turmoil swirling inside her. The couple exchanged glances, their poise shaken. "This cat's been missing for days," the woman exclaimed, gesturing dramatically. "You have no idea how long she's been out here or how dangerous it is." Danger. Emma felt the word sink deep into her thoughts. She understood the dangers, they lurked in alleyways and judgments alike. She wasn't going to let anyone's status define their worth, especially not now, Not for this animal who couldn't speak for herself. This cat needs help, and we're going to give it to her, she declared, her resolve hardening. The crowd murmured, their breath held tight between them, unsure of where this confrontation might lead. Emma raised her hands to calm everyone down, grounding herself in responsibility while battling self-doubt. She could almost hear the whispers of the past echoing in her head, reminding her how small her voice often felt amidst the powerful and well-off. She inhaled deeply, swallowing her fear. Look, let us just check for a collar or a microchip, Jake suggested, his teenage bravado shining through. Emma caught his eye, brimming with gratitude for his instinct to find a solution. The couple hesitated, wearing expressions of reluctance and frustration. In a bold move, she turned back to the mound of trembling fur. With care, she found a loose corner of the tar-covered limb and slowly began to peel it away, knowing the discomfort it could cause. The cat blinked up at her, confusion mingling with a glimmer of hope. "You're not alone, little one," Emma murmured, her heart softening at the sight. When the couple protested again, claiming the cat as their own, the townsfolk rallied around Emma's growing determination. "That's not how this works," one neighbor spoke up, stepping forward with a confident stance. "You don't let a cat suffer because of a label." This sparked agreement from others, the crowd inching closer as they felt the warmth of solidarity growing around them. With each passing moment, the energy shifted, solidarity sweeping through the group like a gust of wind. People began sharing stories of their own rescue animals, voices rising together in a gentle chorus. This was about more than just a trapped cat, it was a reminder of something deeper, a community brought together by empathy and shared responsibility. As Emma pulled away the last remnants of tar from the cat's leg, her fingers brushed against something cold and metallic. A collar. The name tag attached red mittens along with a phone number. Hope surged through her as she looked up, eyes shining bright like stars breaking through a fog. "That's it. We can contact the owners," she shouted, as a mixture of relief and excitement rippled through the crowd. But the couple stiffened, scanning the faces around them. Emma sensed their anger brewing, the powerful slipping back into their world of entitlement. Just then, the phone rang in Emma's pocket, a number she didn't recognize, but with a leap of instinct, she answered. "Hello? Is this Emma? Is that Mittens?" A breathless voice came through the line. In that moment, the stakes grew even higher. The real owners were on the line, the cat's fate teetering on a knife's edge. Emma glanced at Jake and Lily, who were hanging on her every word, hearts racing as hope and uncertainty mingled in the air. What would she say? Did she have the guts to stand for what felt right? All of their lives hung in the balance, and how she responded could change everything. Emma took a breath, steadying herself as she felt the weight of every gaze in the crowd. The anticipation was palpable, the whole community was holding their breath along with her. "Yes, this is Emma," she said, her voice trembling slightly despite her efforts. "I have Mittens here." The voice on the other end broke into an ecstatic gasp, "Oh my God. We've been searching everywhere. Where are you?" As the conversation surged forward, Emma couldn't help but glance over at the couple again. Their expressions were a mix of disbelief and growing fury. "Your STE," the man began, but Emma cut him off, her voice rising with urgency. "Call the owner. I think Mittens needs to be back home," she said, trying to focus on the warmth of the moment and not get bogged down by the negativity surrounding her. "Please, can you hold her until we get there? We have her kennel stuff and food ready to go," the owner pleaded. "Absolutely. We have her safe," Emma assured, her eyes scanning the crowd. She could see Jake nodding, aflame with excitement. Lily was clapping her hands, beaming with pride. As the owner rattled off their location, Emma relayed as much information as she could. The longer they talked, the more Emma felt hope flicker in her chest, sparking against the darkness of doubt. When if Mittens returned home, it wouldn't just be a victory for them, it would be for everyone. It would be proof of their collective strength. Just then, the couple unleashed their frustration. "You're a thief!" the woman shouted, her voice cutting across the murmurs of support. "You have no right to keep her." A hush fell over the crowd. Emma felt the heat of their accusation blanket her, but she stood firm. "I'm doing what's best for Mittens," she challenged. "This isn't theft, it's rescue. You can't just take an animal and leave it in harm's way." The man stepped forward, his chest puffed out. "You're nothing without your little crowd. You think they care? They don't even know the truth of what happened." But as he spoke, Emma noticed a shift in the crowd. People began stepping closer, protective vibes rippling through the space around her. "We're here for Mittens," Jake shouted, mirroring Emma's sentiment. Others echoed him, their voices resolute and strong. The couple exchanged glances, confusion rippling through their facade of superiority. Emma could see their power beginning to slip. It was a fragile thing, like the last leaf clinging to a branch before the winter storms. Finally, Emma said, "Why don't we let the owners decide? They deserve to know what has happened to Mittens. It's her choice, not ours." The woman opened her mouth to protest, but the come-together nature of the community silenced her thoughts. The air tingled with a commitment to fairness, to compassion. They weren't just going to let this couple push everyone around. They would be the voice for Mittens, no matter what. Emma gestured toward the closest neighbor. "Please, can you call them back and let them know we'll be waiting?" Every moment felt charged with potential, the inklings of hope rejuvenating her spirit. Just then, she spotted the headlights of a car cresting the hill, moving slowly toward them. The owner was coming. Emma's heart quickened, hope mingling with anxiety. She stepped back to give the couple a pointed look filled with determination. "This ends here." Would this really be the moment they'd all been waiting for? The car rolled to a stop, and the door swung open. Would Mittens finally be reunited with the family she belonged to? Emma took a deep breath, ready to face whatever would come next. The door opened wide, and a woman stepped out, eyes searching the crowd. Emma recognized her immediately from the pictures the owner had sent. "Mittens? Mittens." The woman's voice rang out, a mix of hope and desperation. It felt like the entire space held its breath. It was their moment, all the emotions squeezed into a single heartbeat. "Mittens." Emma called back, stepping forward, cradling the small, fluffy figure against her chest. The community seemed to collectively lean in, eager to witness this reunion unfold. Emma's heart raced, almost as if Mittens could sense the love and urgency swarming around her. The woman rushed towards them, her eyes gleaming as she reached out. "Oh my God! Thank you! Thank you so much!" She reached for the cat, gentle yet frantic. Emma hesitated just for a second, allowing the moment to sink in what they had all fought for. Suddenly, Mittens squirmed, catching the woman's scent. A soft, playful meow broke from her as she wiggled past Emma's hands and into the embrace of her owner. The joyous reunion was too much to bear, and tears filled Emma's eyes. Alongside her, the crowd erupted in applause, cheers mixed with the heat of collective emotion. But then the couple stepped forward, drawing a line in this otherwise blissful moment. "This is absurd," the man shouted again, voice trembling with anger. "You expect us to trust her with you people after this? Trust?" Emma shot back, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions. "Trust was never about ownership, it's about love. If you cared for Mittens like you claimed to, you wouldn't have let her go in the first place." The words hung heavy in the air, and the crowd absorbed every syllable. They sensed the truth in Emma's tone, her passion ignited something deep inside them all. The woman holding Mittens looked conflicted, glancing back at the couple, her hands trembling. "What happened?" "The lady across the street, she said you took her," she whispered, her voice breaking. Emma took a deep breath and explained everything, the story of Mittens being lost and found, tangled in a mess of uncertainty. Every eye in the crowd was fixed on her, she felt their shared pain and hope, knitting them closer together. After Emma spoke, the woman's eyes softened. I didn't know. I thought she was just gone." It was the moment Emma had hoped for, a crack in the couple's armor, a glimpse of humanity left in them. Perhaps they still felt a flicker of remorse beneath their anger. But before the woman could fully respond, the man, fists clenched, broke in. This isn't over. You've caused enough trouble. He stepped up to Emma menacingly, eyes narrowing. Fear clenched Emma's stomach. Was this truly a victory, or were they still in danger of losing everything they had fought for? She glanced at Mittens, nestled safely in her owner's arms, who was absorbing this chaotic energy with a blend of bewilderment and trust. The crowd, sensing tension rising once more, tightened around Emma. There was strength in their unity, but would it be enough in the face of escalating anger? The couple stood fixed in their stance, unwilling to relent, and a chill crept into the air. Do they really believe they can take her again? Someone whispered from the crowd, fear creeping through their voices. Emma's heart pounded as she realized there was still so much at stake. She took a step back, making room for strength in numbers, looking at her community. No one is taking Mittens from here again. Not after all we've done. As unity unfurled like a banner above them, Emma felt a resolve deepen within her, beckoning her to fight not just for Mittens, but their collective right to protect. Could they face the couple down together and guarantee Mittens' safety? A wave of determination surged through her, but she knew this confrontation was only beginning. The air grew thick with tension, electric and heavy. Emma's mind raced. The couple wouldn't back down easily, and she could see the fury in the man's eyes, a storm threatening to unleash chaos. She felt the crowd brace themselves, hearts beating collectively, a mix of fear and defiance woven into their whispers. Mittens is home now, Emma declared, her voice more powerful than she realized. We all came together for her. There was an energy that rippled through the crowd, sparking glimmers of hope. The woman cradling Mittens, her affection radiating like warmth in the cold, stood firm, glancing at the man beside her. I don't want to hurt her again. I thought I lost her. Her voice trailed off, betrayal and regret twisting her features. It was a moment of vulnerability, fragile yet fierce. The man scoffed, fighting against the tide of compassion that threatened to pull him under. You don't just hand over a pet to some random community. What makes you think they'll take care of her better than us? His anger spilled over, each word like daggers thrown in a desperate attempt to regain control. Emma stepped forward, heart pounding in her chest. Because this community cares, she shot back, not backing down. We're not just some faces in a crowd. We created bonds over our love for this little creature. Mittens isn't just a pet to us, she symbolizes the strength of our connections. Hope lives here, not just for her, but for all of us. A murmur of agreement rose from the crowd, like waves crashing against the shore. People began to nod and step closer, reinforcing their unity. For a moment, the man faltered, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. But the grip of resentment held tight to his heart, a vice that wouldn't release him easily. You don't understand, he exclaimed, desperation clawing at his voice. She was mine. I had plans. She was supposed to be part of our family. You can't just take her away. Emma felt a pang of empathy pierce through the tension. It sounds like you loved her, she admitted softly, her voice lowering as she met his gaze. But love means letting go sometimes when you realize you can't care for someone the right way. The crowd fell silent, the sincerity of her words hanging thick in the air. She glanced around at the faces surrounding her jeep-clad fathers, grandmothers with trembling hands, little kids who had come for a hero story, and all them fighting for one small cat. Hope blossomed in the charged moment. Suddenly, the woman with Mittens interjected, her voice cutting through the tension like a ray of light. Maybe we should just talk. She stepped toward the man, her eyes pleading. If you're willing to listen, maybe we can figure this out. Mittens deserves love, but it's not about who owns her. It's about what's best for her. Emma held her breath, the atmosphere heavy with anticipation. Would he accept this olive branch? There was a chance here, an opening for understanding. As the man looked from the woman to Mittens, evident inner turmoil played across his face. The crowd held theirs as well, caught between hope and concern. But then, with an unexpected burst, he turned sharply, voice booming into the streets. No. You think this is over? You just wait. He stormed away, leaving a cloud of anger trailing behind him. The woman stood frozen, tears brimming in her eyes, cradling Mittens tightly. Emma felt her heart ache for her. This wasn't just about a pet, it was about the fractures of trust and love that could take a lifetime to mend. Emma reached out to the woman, who met her gaze with a flicker of gratitude. "We're not going anywhere," Emma assured her, voice gentle but strong. "You have us." But deep down, a question lingered in the air. What would the man do next? As shadows of doubt loomed, Emma knew they had to stay strong. The battle was far from over and challenges awaited just beyond the horizon. The echoes of the man's words lingered in the air, heavy and foreboding. Emma felt the weight of uncertainty pressing against her chest. The crowd had so fervently united over Mittens, but now there was a fracture, a crack that threatened to splinter their hopes. What if he returned with a plan to take the cat back, declaring it a battle? A voice broke through her thoughts. It was Jenna, a mother from the neighborhood, her brows knit together in concern. "What do we do now? What if he comes back? What if he hurts her?" Emma turned her focus to the woman, still holding Mittens closely. "We stand together," she assured Jenna, though doubt crept into her own mind. "The community has already shown we care. We need to create a safe space for her." The woman nodded, tears slipping free before she caught them. I don't want to put her in danger again," she whispered, glancing at Mittens, whose wide eyes reflected fear and confusion. "But that's why we're here," Emma said, reaching out to touch the woman's arm. "If we take action, we'll be her voice. We'll make sure she is protected." Mittens reached out a paw, as if sensing the tension, her little claws instinctively scraping against the woman's shirt. It was a gesture of comfort, a reminder that despite the chaos, love was intertwined in these moments. As the crowd buzzed with worry, Emma stood tall once more. "Let us show him that we're not ordinary people. We're a family." With a newfound determination, whispers transformed into plans. They gathered in circles, voices conscious of the challenge ahead. Emma felt hope bubbling up inside her. It even sparked a few brave faces to step forward and speak to the woman about their stories. "I've been through something similar," Jenna shared, her voice soft yet steady. "When my son was really sick, the community came together to support us. They held fundraisers, gave us meals. It was overwhelming. We couldn't have made it without them." Others chimed in, sharing their own stories of loss, of family, of love. With each tale, Mittens became a symbol of resilience. The loss the man felt transformed into connection, proof that families were built through struggle and support. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Emma could feel the power of the group surging. It was infectious, the kind of energy that promised change. They formed a chain of compassion as they approached the woman and Mittens, uniting their voices. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. A shadow loomed from the street. The crowd hushed, and Emma's heart raced. Was it him? To everyone's astonishment, it was not the angry man they had feared, but a local reporter, her camera held poised, ready to capture the unfolding story. "I heard about what happened," the reporter called out, her voice cutting through the tension. "I'm here to tell your story, to show what this community is fighting for." Relief washed over Emma. Though they had faced anger, here stood someone ready to share the truth of their struggle. Flashes of hope ignited among the crowd. This was an opportunity to spread their message far and wide. But just as the reporter began to speak, a distant shout echoed from behind them. "What are you doing with my cat?" Emma's heart sank again as she recognized that storm of fury. The man was back, and he wasn't alone. Things are about to escalate, she thought, gripping her fists tight. What now? The crowd shifted uncomfortably, and Emma took a deep breath. They had fought for Mittens once, now they would have to do it all over again. With the stakes raised, would they find a way to protect her? The air crackled, and the next confrontation was looming large in front of him. Emma's heart raced as she turned to face the shout, adrenaline pumping through her veins. The man was striding toward them, flanked by two burly friends, all fury and tension. She could see the anger etched on his face, eyes glinting with the threat of confrontation. "Mittens doesn't belong in your hands." he bellowed, pointing directly at the woman. The crowd tightened around her like a living fence, each person preparing silently to defend their own. "Please," Emma called out, lifting her hands as if to calm the storm, "we only want to protect her. We're not trying to take anything from you." "Protect her?" he spat, advancing further. "You think you can just swoop in?" and he cut off as the reporter stepped forward, her camera capturing every moment. "What you're trying to achieve here is unjust," she spoke, her tone firm yet measured. "Mittens has been abandoned to a community that loves her. This is no longer just your decision." Emma felt a surge of hope. Maybe this was the breakthrough they needed. The man paused, his posture stiffening as he weighed the situation. For a heartbeat, the world slowed, the crowd's breaths mingling with the rustle of leaves in the crisp evening air. "Your cat? You didn't even give her a chance?" Jenna shouted, stepping beside Emma and squeezing her hand for courage. "Love doesn't mean ownership. It means doing what's best, even if it hurts." The words hung heavy, a challenge to his viewpoint. Emma saw hesitation flicker across the man's face, but it was quickly replaced by defiance as he tightened his grip around a leash. "She's mine. I'm taking her home." "Is home where you left her alone in a box?" a voice cried out from the crowd. A man stepped forward, revealing a tiny bandage on his finger. "I was the one who found her. Do you think it doesn't hurt me that she needs care? That she's been abandoned?" The man fell silent, eyes darting over the faces of those assembled. Emma could sense crackling tension, but she also felt a flicker of understanding. The crowd leaned in closer. "Mittens deserves a family that will love her," Emma continued, her voice shaking but resolute. "Your pain is real, but so is the love she has found with us. If you care, let her stay where she is safe." Jenna chimed in, "We will support you. Whatever you need. If you need help, we can come together. We are a community who stands for those who can't stand for themselves." Suddenly, the harshness in the man's expression began to soften. The anger seemed to slip like sand through his fingers. He looked down at Mittens, who had returned to a calm state in the woman's embrace, unaware of the tension swirling around her. Emma took a step forward, bravery coursing through her. "You could show her love in a different way. Let her decide where she feels safe." But the silence shattered as one of the man's friends barked, "You can't just let them take her like this. She's a prize no." The man cut him off, voice tense. "She's not a prize. She's my cat." The crowd gasped collectively, unsure how to react. Emma held her breath, feeling hope tangled with fear. His defiance lurked, but the battle lines slowly blurred. Was he questioning his own choices? "Mittens deserves happiness," Emma said, heart pounding. "How can we help you find closure?" "Closure," he echoed, brow furrowing. Emma realized this was more than just a conflict over a cat, it was a man wrestling with his own losses. As the confrontation hovered on the edge of a knife, a new, fragile possibility unfolded. Yet, with every uncertainty came a new wave of risk. Would he choose to fight or find healing? With the world holding its breath, Emma felt hope rise in her chest. Would the man let go of his anger for the love of a cat? The question hung in the air, heavy with promise. A flicker of realization passed over the man's face. His lips quivered slightly as he glanced back to Mittens. She was curled up in the woman's arms, purring gently, blissfully ignorant of the storm brewing around her. Emma could almost see the wheels turning in his mind, the tension written on his brow battling with something else, sadness, perhaps regret. "Do you even understand what it's like to lose something you love?" he asked, voice dropping to a tremor. The question rang out, echoing in the crowd, silencing the onlookers. Emma took a step closer. "I can't say I know exactly how you feel, but I can see the love you have for her," Emma replied softly. "But it's important to recognize that true love means doing what's best for her. Not what's easiest for us." His gaze drifted to the ground, burdened. "I thought I could take care of her," he murmured, revealing a vulnerability that shattered the hard exterior. "I thought I could protect her." Jenna stepped forward, eyes glistening. Sometimes, protecting means letting go. It's not just about possession, it's about nurturing. She's happier here. The man's friends shifted uneasily, glancing at one another, unsure of how to proceed. They were losing him, inch by inch. Emma could feel it, a small tide turning. Hope blossomed along with fear of the unexpected. I didn't mean to abandon her, he said, almost beneath his breath. I was overwhelmed, you know? There was a collective sigh from the crowd. Understanding rippled through them. They knew the struggles of life, the harshness, the weight of expectations, the mistakes. Mittens was found in a box, the man continued softly, his voice barely audible. That box, it was an afterthought, an impulsive decision. I've struggled so much to find meaning in my life, and then I thought maybe having her would fill that void. The pain in his admission wrapped around Emma's heart like a vice. She understood that journey all too well. We all want to be loved, to feel needed. But Mittens has found something special with us, she said gently. We want to include you too. The support is here, even if it looks different than we imagined. He lifted his head, the fight seemingly deflating from his posture. I just wanted to be someone who could care for her, he whispered. A loving parent might not always succeed, but they always try. That's what matters, Jenna added, her voice steady and warm. Emma clasped her hands, willing the man to absorb her words. Let us build something together, a path where you can still be part of her life. A community. It can include you. You don't have to lose Mittens altogether. Momentarily silenced, the man looked over at Mittens, whose gentle paw brushed against the woman's cheek. He inhaled shakily, almost as if the revelation had peeled away a layer of callousness from his heart. Maybe I need to step back, he said slowly, finally meeting Emma's eyes. But, how do I suddenly, a sharp voice interrupted. What if he uses this as a trap? To get her back later? A skeptical voice rang, reminding everyone of the dangers still lingering. The skepticism hung in the air like a dark cloud, and Emma felt her heart race again. It threatened to extinguish the fragile bond they were beginning to forge. Trust is hard, I know that, Emma said, taking a deep breath. But it begins with a single step forward. We are here for you, but you need to be honest about who you are now. You deserve to feel safe too. The man's look shifted, caught between wrestling with self-doubt and reaching toward a glimmer of hope. As the murmur of the crowd faded into silence, Emma felt the weight of the moment. Would he allow himself this chance for growth? The question hung heavy, ready to unleash a multitude of possibilities. But then, without warning, a loud crash emerged from behind the crowd, breaking the moment's fragile spell. Emma's heart raced again. Would the man choose to confront it, or would they all have to face whatever danger loomed ahead? The sudden crash shattered the growing tension. Emma's pulse quickened as everyone turned instinctively toward the source of the noise. A tangled mass of chaos erupted just behind the crowd. The man's friends, now visibly alarmed, rallied together, forming a protective wall around him. Stay back. One of them shouted, eyes darting nervously through the throng. What was that? Is anyone hurt? Amid the clamor, Emma pushed her way to the front. The crowd split to reveal a small, shabby pickup truck that had backed into a stack of crates nearby. It creaked and shook, its bed overloaded with materials that now lay scattered across the ground. Fear pulsed through the observers. Something had gone wrong, and whatever it was, it had done so quickly. Then she heard it. A low whine. Emma's heart sank. The creature, whatever it was trapped under the wreckage. We need to help. A familiar voice broke through her thoughts. It was Jenna, stepping forward with determination, her eyes scanning for a plan. Someone call for help. We might need a veterinarian. Emma nodded, adrenaline coursing through her veins, and turned back to the man who had just been so vulnerable. His face had transformed, the self-doubt replaced momentarily by something sharper: determination. Do you have any idea what it is? He asked, his voice suddenly steadier, and Emma marveled at how quickly he was shifting gears. No. She shouted back, her eyes fixed on the chaos. but we need all hands on deck. The jagged pieces of wood lay scattered like puzzles, and the weight of the truck looked imposing. Without thinking twice, Emma dropped to her knees and started to clear the debris. She could hear Mitten's soft purring behind them, happy and unaware of the ominous cloud gathering. "Come on," Jenna urged. They all began moving frantically, digging and pulling away as the whispers of doubt battled once more against action. "Help me!" the man cried out, now fully invested, his hands moving to lift a piece of the broken crate. No longer was he just a bystander, he was engaged, part of a team, part of something bigger. Within moments, a tiny, shivering shape emerged from the shadows. A dog, small and scruffy, stumbled out, coated in dirt and trembling as it glanced around in terror. "We need to get it out of here," the man said, dropping the wood and hurrying forward. The crowd held its breath as he reached for the scared creature. "Easy there," Emma said, moving to his side. "We don't want to scare it more." Together, they slowly approached the trembling dog, their movements gentle, coaxing. The man's arm extended cautiously, inviting trust, and Emma could hardly believe the transformation in him. "I'll help," he urged, his voice softer now, full of understanding much like the love he had for Mittens. The onlookers watched, tension giving way to a fragile hope. The dog, confused but sensing their kindness, took a hesitant step forward toward their outstretched hands. "Just a little closer now," Jenna whispered, eyes filled with warmth. The entire crowd held its breath, witnessing the moment of potential rescue unfold. As the man knelt down, tears brimmed in his eyes. For the first time, he wasn't just a lost soul chasing shadows of regret. He was a protector. Hope surged among the onlookers, the shift was palpable. Just as the man reached out one final time to grasp the dog's collar, another loud crash disrupted the atmosphere again, this time closer than before. "What now?" Emma gasped, a knot twisting in her stomach. Would the new danger snuff out the rescuing light they had just ignited? Or would it empower them to rise even stronger together? The air grew thick with tension, and the next choice loomed larger than life. As they stood there, uncertainty loomed in the air like a thick fog. The community, once part of a struggle emerging into light, found themselves on the brink of chaos once again. Anger seeped back in, fear prickled at their skin. Emma sensed that this moment could either shatter their fragile progress or propel them into an unexpected alliance. The dog, caught in the shadows of abandoned crates and noise, darted away, a flash of fur disappearing under the truck. Emma's heart raced, and she glanced at the man beside her. In his determination, she saw the spark of transformation that had ignited in him. It was time to act, not just for Mittens or the dog, but for their community. "Together!" Emma shouted, her voice cutting through the rising panic. "We need everyone to help. Let us get the dog, no one fights alone." The crowd stirred with a fluid energy, driven forward by a shared purpose. "On three!" Jenna called, her voice confident, buoying the group's fear with resolve. 1, 2, 3. With a concerted effort, they all pushed against the wreckage, the clatter of wood singing out as the truck shifted slightly. The air crackled with action and desperation. Emma's vision narrowed on the small dog's eyes peeking warily from the shadows. "Just a little longer. It's okay, we're here to help." She coaxed gently, holding her breath as the dog seemed to reflect their energy, a flicker of bravery glimmering through its fear. The man next to her echoed her sentiments, a soft plea spilling from his lips. "You're safe, buddy. Come on out." Each whispered assurance seemed to wrap around the trembling creature, bridging the gap between fear and trust. Another push, and the last pieces of wood fell away with a thud. Freedom opened up, an invitation for the dog to reclaim its space in the world. Just then, the dog stepped forward tentatively, paws shaking but unharmed. Relief washed over the crowd as the creature ventured closer. "Look! He's coming!" A voice chimed, and everyone leaned in, drawn by the magic unfolding in front of them. That small scrap of courage soon turned into a glorious moment of victory. The dog crept from its hiding place, tail low and uncertain, but drawn forward by the warmth of the people surrounding it. Yes, beautiful. Another voice gasped, and as the dog took a leap into the open air, the crowd erupted into applause, laughter streaming through the tension-filled space. All of a sudden, the heaviness fell away, replaced by cheers of triumph. The man knelt down, hands trembling with emotion, and reached for the dog with tender care. "You're safe now, little guy," he whispered, his voice breaking, but full of sincerity. "I won't let anyone hurt you again." Together, as the crowd merged into one collective heartbeat, they recognized their strength. They had faced down their fears, confronted potential turmoil, and now, in this tender moment, compassion bloomed brighter than any anger, like a sunflower pushing through asphalt. As the dog nuzzled against the man, Emma caught the woman with mittens smiling back at her, tears glistening in her eyes. Their eyes spoke volumes, and in that shared understanding, Emma knew they had not only saved 2 lives but had birthed a bond that could transcend petty judgments and past failures. Maybe love looks different for all of us, Emma thought, proud of how far they had come. Mittens and the dog had become beacons of resilience, symbols unifying their community in ways they had never dreamed possible. As the crowd celebrated, Emma felt a wave of hope wash through her. The anger that once choked them faded, and respect replaced hostility. Bonds formed, stories shared, healing processes ignited, all revolving around a single act of love. "Thank you for helping," the man spoke softly, addressing the crowd, his voice mingled with humility. "I've been lost for too long. I realize now that love means having the courage to let go, and to support those who can offer a better life." The realization sparked a round of applause, the energy fueling their unity. "We're a family, and we've got each other's backs," Jenna shouted, drawing smiles and cheers. Emma felt weightless, woven into this tapestry of connection. They had fought for Mittens, but in doing so, they had found each other. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and violet, Emma gathered her kids close, a radiant smile lighting her face. "We did it!" she exclaimed, her heart bursting with pride. Jake and Lily beamed. The joy felt reminiscent, overflowing with love and triumph. Later that evening, as they walked home, Emma couldn't shake the transformation that had unfolded before her. She recognized the beauty of vulnerability laid bare, wounds healed in the presence of compassion. The diner, once a backdrop to daily struggles, had now become a sanctuary surrounded by neighbors turned friends, a familial embrace they had all played their part in building. Emma breathed deeply, determination filling her with laughter. They had not only saved Mittens, they had saved themselves. The world was vast, full of challenges, but they had found their place within it, a community bound by love, determination, and collective spirit. Together, she whispered to Jake and Lily as they entered their home. "This is just the beginning." And the darkness that had once loomed faded behind them, light breaking brightly through. In their hearts, they knew they were on a journey, one fueled by hope, resilience, and the power of belonging. This was the moment they would cherish forever. Now, here's the urgency. You need to subscribe now to catch all the next exclusive stories that will inspire and uplift you. If you love this heartwarming journey, leave a like to feed the algorithm and help more people discover it. Comment your favorite part and how it made you feel, and share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformative experience. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second.